In my mind, the idea is that when you come in, you are not only going to have this immersive experience, but you're seeing original art. You won't see any sculpture that exists somewhere else in the world.
Are these all original works, or are they
All original.
They're all
Yeah.
original.
Everything
Okay.
in the park will be original.
So can you talk about that part? About I mean, it could be easy to get manufactured items, or
Yep, but then they
you
wouldn't.
know,
Then they wouldn't be Evermore.
it's an outdoor adventure park. Are you concerned about the elements? I don't know.
No.
Consuming
No,
your
things.
work, or is there
Well,
preservation?
they'll be cast in permanent mediums. Bronze doesn't deteriorate; it just gets better. I'm a big fan of classical, so everything from the Renaissance forward. I'm a really big fan of Rodin, so I try to run with that. I mean, you can't get better than the classics, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a good place to be influenced from.
Right. It was the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a depiction of Michael vanquishing Satan, and this is going to be a fountain. So there'll actually be water about out to here, and there's actually going to be supporting characters in the water that spray water back up on it. So the idea behind it is that this is kind of the last scene in the battle in heaven, and Michael's vanquishing Satan, and these are, for lack of a better word, kind of the lost souls, the ones that have maybe followed the wrong guy, and are kind of getting sucked into the well, which represents getting thrown out of heaven. I'm a little over 3 months into it right now.
Okay.
I figure I'll be done at about the middle of next month, and then it'll be ready for rubber at that point. So there's a total of, I've got 12 figures done now, and there's another 3 figures to go. So it's a pretty big undertaking. It's
Yeah.
taking quite a while.
So you have another one right behind you here. You have another piece right behind you.
This is actually the model for this.
Oh, okay.
This is what I use to kind of point up. That's what they call it. The pins are for point up. I'll decide where I want the metal to go in the big statue, and then the pins are little markers to tell me where the metal is going to go. So what I'll do is I'll lay it out on here. These pins represent a piece of metal that runs through the arm on the big statue. So I'll take a height, and I'll come in from the side and measure it, and then I'll come in from a different direction and measure it. So you have 3 points, so I can find any point in 3 dimensions. And by gathering a lot of information over multiple points throughout the whole maquette, I can find exactly where those points belong on the larger statue. If you notice, I've got a grid. You have to line up to it, but there's a grid that's kind of scratched into the model, and that represents 1 foot squares on the larger model. So by working inside of that grid, I can find all the different points. I can show you my favorite part.
Oh, yeah, please,
All right.
please do.
I really like this arm.
Tell me about that arm. Okay, here.
Yeah. So I just like how it's I like how the hand's grabbing so hard that it's affecting the skin on Lucifer's arm, and adds some of that tension. I really like tension, and gesture is really important. So all the figures hopefully have very strong gestures and are full of emotion. I mean, I think I would be full of emotion if I was one of them. So that's kind of what I'm trying to grasp here. We start with clay.
Okay.
When the clay's done, then we'll make a silicone mold off of that, and a mother mold on top of that, and then we'll cast this particular one in bronze.